Section 1 looks at the motivational DNA of the team without identifying specific individuals. It identifies where the team gets greatest energy from, areas that they are less naturally oriented towards, and biases that might apply to the team as an overall group. This in itself is intriguing for the team, as this is an aspect of the team orientation that they are unlikely to have encountered before. As you facilitate this initial discussion about where the team is pointed motivationally, give some thought to when you show these data. It might be worth starting the substance of the team development session once you've done any warm-up exercises with a discussion of the objectives, priorities, and strategic goals of the team, which can help to embed in their minds where the team needs to be, against which they can compare where the motivational DNA points them. Alternatively, you might want to get them talking about what, in their experience, are the features of highly effective teams. There's often a great deal of experience around the table from different organizations, roles, and contexts, and drawing this out and getting the team engaged in activity early is always a good idea in team development sessions. These approaches also bring an element of objectivity to the narrative. These are their words and views before they have seen their own team profile. What does the team profile mean relative to what they collectively need to achieve? What are the implications for the way the team might engage with the wider organization as well as within the team? This is a very rich early stage discussion and sets the day off well. Section 2 provides the facilitator and the team with an opportunity to focus on specific aspects of team dynamics that feel most relevant and important. MRG enable this by adopting a thematic approach, meaning that we have identified a total of 20 different facets of team dynamics to choose from, with no restriction on how many or how few are chosen. For each of the themes that you see on this page, MRG has used its experience and expertise to determine which IDI drivers relate most to that motivational theme. For each theme, we have used a specific subset of 4 or 5 IDI drivers that we believe are most relevant. But as a facilitator, you can also draw on other IDI drivers that you think are relevant to any specific client or context. It does mean that your knowledge and practice in using the IDI tool itself is really important, so that you can bring in any other considerations that you feel are relevant to the discussion. Each theme is presented in a very practical left page, right page configuration, meaning that the scores of each individual on the relevant IDI scales are presented on the left page, while coaching questions and suggested action steps are presented on the right-hand page, meaning that participants can view both without having to turn pages back and forth. Section 3 brings the focus back to the individual. This is another area where the MRG team report is rather unique. It means that no two reports are exactly the same, and that each person will get an additional level of insight on top of those derived from their own IDI development report, with a focus on exploring potential areas of individual bias. It is a working assumption, and in fact a requirement, that team members have received their own personal IDI development report and either individual or group feedback. The new team report is not intended or written to be a replacement for the IDI individual development report. This is one area where we are seeking specific feedback from our network members. You might prefer to have Section 2 focusing on the individual, providing some time for individual reflection and to help that person to refresh their memory about their own IDI orientations before going into the minutiae of the team. The individual section also brings insights into areas of bias that might be helpful to understand before diving into deeper team dynamics. The final consideration here is an important one. Our experience from facilitating a number of IDI team development sessions is that navigating through different themes, even though they rely on a far smaller number of IDI drivers, is still a lot for participants to take in. They will work through the first theme they have prioritized, then the second, third, and so on. Experience suggests that once you get to theme 4 or 5, it's starting to become too much information and also can feel a little repetitive, even if the themes differ widely. So consider two things. Firstly, do you think that there will be room and energy left after all of this to get to that individual level of reflection in section 3? Or would it be better to go straight to their next steps phase as a team? Secondly, think about how many themes you realistically can expect to work through in a given team development session. Too many will risk participants feeling inundated and might make it more difficult to distill the core messages of the day as they move towards the "what's next" question. The report finishes with some questions relating to next steps, providing some potential direction for the facilitator and team without being overly prescriptive. Much of what comes next will logically flow from the discussions of the day, and should as much as possible come from the team itself with the guidance of the facilitator. MRG also provides 2 important resources for our network members. When you have chosen the relevant themes and have ordered the IDI team reports, our system will automatically generate a slide deck that is pre-populated with the selected themes and the scores of each individual along relevant IDI scales. This allows a just-in-time approach while saving a significant amount of time in what otherwise would be a very labor-intensive preparatory step. Just think about how much time it would take to do this manually and how far in advance you would need to get started in order to have it ready in time. The MRG system gives you this ready to go in real time. Nothing else in the market can compare. MRG will also provide an online resource center containing facilitator materials for our certified network to use, including warm-up activities, case studies, team exercises, and other useful resources to help you and your clients get the most from the team development session. This is a facility that we will continually add to over time, and we encourage network members to contribute to this and to help us to create a valuable and growing resource for all. All of this is backed by MRG's commitment to customer service and product excellence, ensuring your team development work is fully supported at all times.